Okay, music stop. Oh, apparently it's not voice control. Damn it. Manually you have to press the thing. Anyway, hi, good evening, and welcome to an episode of Ouch More Money. I'm Denise, as usual, your host. And as usual, again, we're also waiting for our numerous people, not numerous, just for others, okay? And then we shall see how today it's going to be quite interesting. So we shall see who is going to come up first. Aha, it's Juno.
Me, wow. Wasn't expecting that. What are you drinking? Cup of soup?
Water.
Cup water, okay. Cup
Yeah,
water.
but it's missing cup noodle.
Cup noodle.
I put MSG inside my water.
Oh no, you're gonna get hyper, is it later?
MSG will hyper one eh? No
I
one.
don't know.
I'm naturally hyper, so doesn't matter.
Okay.
没事。Hello, you are muted, Mr. Douglas. I mean KK.
Hello.
Hello. Who's that? Hi, Rachel.
You again.
Okay, let's start.
Of when everybody comes.
Let's do the last one.
Yeah, okay.
I think that's the last one. Afiq.
Hello.
You guys are supposed to help me on Facebook steamer, Afiq. This is our topic of the day. How to make your place look steamer without going for Botox. That can help you save money.
Okay, by the way, for your information, Botox doesn't make your face slimmer.
No,
It does.
No, some people it does because apparently for some your face hair very big because of the jaw muscles. So if that is the reason why your face looks bigger, they will
Because
Botox
what,
it,
the skin
loosen
here-
it. No,
the
your jaw muscle,
Oh,
Some people their face look bigger because they have very big jaw muscles. So if you Botox it, right, it relaxes the muscles, then your face looks thinner. But that is dependent on the reason why your face look big. If it's just fats like mine, then Botox not going to help.
I
You do
see.
a
I
fat
learned something
face.
today. Okay.
Okay, people. So, Douglas, is it
Yes.
time for you to? Is it time? Hey, hello, do your job, people.
He forgot about it. He said nothing by interrupting you and then he forgot about
Can you-
it.
What can I do for you? What can I do for you tonight?
What can you do for me tonight? Send me some food to my house. Pay for my fat freezing treatments. How many things you can do for me? That anybody else can do for us.
Okay.
So how do we
Unfortunately, cannot. Unfortunately, those don't fall within the scope of things that I can do for you.
Damn it. What a disaster. Then don't ask if you cannot do it.
Yeah, then ask for what?
Hey. Shh. I have a question.
Why? You got some revelation for us.
Okay, yeah, I got a few questions. How should I? Okay, so I think about a week ago, I was at this program called Evolve. I think you guys you guys know about it, right? Evolve activity, which is created by the creators of the people who are behind, created by the people behind the Money and You program. Okay, and one of the things that we cover or they talk about at the program was this whole conversation about wealth, and wealth really is about having access to resources. Or one of the key aspects of wealth is having access to resources, and in that conversation, one of the key resources is this thing that we are all familiar with, which is called money. And in the conversation about money, there are three aspects or three things about money that we need to be clear about. Okay, and the first thing about money is we need to understand how money works. Okay, which we've talked about before, right? We talked about the value of money, the cost of money, the price of money, and um, making money, keeping money, and growing money. So this is the whole conversation about how money works, what money is. And the second point the second point of clarity is what's going on with our money. Okay, if we were to look at our bank account, or some people don't even want to look at bank account. At the end of every month or at any point in time, do we know what's going on with our money? How much is flowing out? How much is coming in? Is there a net surplus or is there a net deficit? Or just being clear about where we stand as far as where our money is. But it is the third point which I found very interesting. Okay, which was what is our relationship with money? Okay, whether or not we are clear with our relationship with money. If money was a person, okay, so the metaphor is if money was a person, then what is our relationship with that person? And there's also this saying, this happy life, happy wife thing.
Happy wife, happy life.
Happy life, happy.
Wife first, not life first.
Okay, so anyway, if money was a person, what would our relationship be like with this person? Will it be is it an empowering relationship or is it a disempowering relationship? Okay, so this was a very interesting point. Oh, I felt that this was a very interesting point because I think from the conversation, it was very interesting also to listen to or to hear what other people say about their relationship with money. Yeah. Okay. Whether it empowers them or whether it disempowers them. Whether some people see money as evil, okay, and the root of all evil. Some people see money as God. Okay, that is all holds the key to the ideal life, heaven on earth. Okay, to extreme. So what do you guys think? What do you guys think about this?
Money, if it's somebody,
What's your take on this conversation of relationship with money?
Yes, Afei, let's go.
I'm trying to point to Rachel.
Oh no, I thought you volunteered to
your hand.
go.
Oh,
You're raising your hand. So the person raises hand goes first.
I guess also, between the five of us, the people who work most with other people in conversations about money happen to be
Ife. Dun dun dun.
And Rachel,
What do you think, Rachel? Rachel, what do you guys think? In your conversation, when you work with your clients, what comes up?
Well, I find that there are a few categories of people when it comes to money. There are avoiders who, well, as the name implies, just avoid anything and everything to do with money. There are the thinkers who will spend a whole day and think. Then there are the impulse buyers who are like, oh, don't think, just buy. And there are, what was the fourth one? I usually see these three. The thinkers, the impulse buyers, and the avoiders. And
Is it the saver, the last one?
oh yeah, the saver. Yes, thank you. Savers. Yes. Savers. Yes. So the savers are, well, as the name implies, they try to save lah, but each has their own pros and cons. Like you said, it's a relationship with money, and I usually see this. Some of the best couples work together when they are of complementary traits. So the thinker and the impulse buyer tends to work well together. The avoider tends not to work well with anyone. Uh, the saver, on the other hand, can actually cause the thinker and the impulse buyer to just, give up in frustration because they don't spend on anything, just want to save now. So yeah, it's all about balance ultimately. And since I work a lot with families, it's usually a good relationship when two people are talking about money. The worst ones are when there's only one party and the other one just doesn't exist.
Avoider.
So do each of these personalities, do you consider these relationships, the relationship that they have with money, empowering or disempowering?
It can be both. It can absolutely be both. For the savers, I don't know if you heard that. That was one of my bear
That's a
cubs.
screamer.
Screamer, yes. There are pros and cons to both being disempowered and empowered. The impulse buyers make decisions really quickly, but again, as the name implies, they're impulse buyers, right?
So are they empowering with money? Being impulse buyers, do you consider that empowering? Being impulse buyers, they fulfill whatever impulse that comes
Depends
up.
on the context. If it's an emergency, these people are like, okay, they're quick on the ball, they solve problems really quickly, and they make decisions really, really quickly, right? But on the flip side, if they just instead of follow the brain, they follow the heart, and they're like, but I really want. And then, it's okay, our emergency fund, we can put back,
You mean it's like sex?
I don't know what's
How
that.
is it like sex?
Because I really want.
It was
Okay, it's not from here.
think of the emergency depends, is it? Or what?
Okay, I think this is totally out of context.
Okay.
Visualize because you cannot put it back. What do you mean put it back? You have sex, you don't put it back.
Put it back into the pants, that's what he means. After you're done so already.
Better, okay.
Okay, PG. Okay. Are we R21 or PG? Okay, let's be PG.
Ours is my shows are never PG.
Anyway,
We can
maybe I interject a bit. So after you have got all these 4 type of personality, so I presume they are not distinct. They are kind
It's
of
a mix.
blend together, yes, but there is a
Yeah.
dominant one.
yeah. So there are some that so with that, I mean, even with the saver or the thinker or the impulse buyer, what's the other one?
Avoidance.
Yeah. So are they actually the one that's managing the money, or are they being managed by money? So
They are
because
being
like
managed by their desires.
so it's like the avoiders, they just avoid money totally, like the words means they avoid, so they run away from money. So they're always being so their whole life is running away from money because they're avoiding dealing with it.
Yeah.
So they're actually being handled by money in a sense.
The
Isn't it?
common thing is we'll do it later, and it'll come to a point where you can't avoid it anymore. Then the panic sets in, and then the difficulties can set in. They miss a lot of opportunities, and
These are bills.
they miss a lot of bills.
They have to
So-
pay additional
in
late
that
charges.
Yeah, so which means they are not on top of money.
No.
Okay. So
No.
money is running their life.
I would
Yeah.
love to be under a lot of money right now.
I wouldn't mind either. But if it's gold bullions, then I think we'll die. Crushed to death. Okay.
So what about the thinkers?
Not thinkers, Okay, thinkers, I don't know. Are we going to go through all 4 types?
How about
And
we
you
understand the thinkers?
It's usually a 3-hour workshop.
Please go to firstfreefinance.com. We'll put a link in the comment below.
But yeah, so in summary, right, your avoiders will just push everything away to the last minute. Your thinkers will overanalyze, really overanalyze until they're absolutely satisfied that decision is a good decision. And the savers will cut corners, will what do you call that? Deny themselves the pleasures of life and say, just save, to the point where they don't even take risk with the money, so the money's not growing, and so they're like accumulating for the sake of accumulating. And of course, the impulse one's quite clear, lah. You can just, what paid today, gone tomorrow.
Pleasures of life.
Maybe not so bad lah. But I used to be an impulse. I still am a little bit impulse buyer. Yeah. Then avoider for sure.
You satisfy all the urges, right? Being impulsive.
Not really leh. Actually, no. Now different. Now very practical. Like standard. Like, but my impulse buys are usually to do with food, drinks. It's true.
Wait.
But people impulse really, they regret it after, ma.
I regret it. I regret it when I see my credit card bill. So it's true
Then you become
afterwards.
an avoider. So you are in.
No, so I was a severe avoider, but then I married a thinker/saver. So
Okay,
yeah.
Denise, so you are an impulse buyer,
Mm.
an avoider, and then you married a thinker/saver. Now, the way I'm explaining just now, it sounded like an avoider is very bad. Impulse buyer.
I think it's
is
very
bad.
It's
And
very
then
bad.
let me finish. Then he said a thinker overanalyzes, and then a saver save, and then so it's like he just
They're
think-
all
It's a spectrum, it's a
They're all
spectrum. You need
bad.
to
he just say everybody's
humans
bad.
are all bad. It's not what you're gonna say.
So they're all
it's a
bad. So they all have disempowering relationship with money.
It's a spectrum, I think. It's a spectrum. So, for example, you know when to save, you know when not to save. I think that is very important. You know, it's kind of like what we say at Gallup Strengths, right? Everybody, teams are just, it's
Neutral.
trained or untrained. Yeah, it's neutral. It's being a saver doesn't mean it's a good or bad thing. But if let's say you are carrying it to the point where you are super saver, when you don't actually need to be like that, and you're living under so much stress, and then like, grah, then that is of course not very good lah.
So the question is, how do you know that you are not at the extreme end?
I used to be an extreme avoider, I think.
The first step is always awareness, right? Step one of any 12-step program is to admit you have a problem.
12-step program.
What?
A 3-step program.
No.
12 steps. 12
At
steps.
least not 6 steps.
Actually, everybody in this room should actually remember that, that joke from the 2000s, the 12-step program. Everything's a 12-step program. No? You guys
Really?
remember?
What
What
was
is
that?
Am I the only one?
They're severely disempowering. So you need 12 steps to move to empowerment. The 12 steps.
I would never create a 12-step program. I tell you, I look
It's
at the
too
12 steps.
many. Yeah, maximum is 3 to 5. I think 5 maximum.
You
Yeah,
guys
but-
are taking whatever I
Okay.
just said too literally. It's a reference.
Yeah, but you see that is
Go back to-
that's a
back to
common
you. So you are saying that, Denise, you are saying that it's a spectrum.
Okay, yeah, it's a spectrum, and if let's say these are very technical, not technical, but they are like classified, right? So saver, thinker, all that. Just now, actually, when Douglas was asking if money were a person, what is my relationship with money? I think it will be a frenemy. Sometimes a friend is like somebody you love and hate at the same time, which is. I don't think it's empowering lah, but yeah.
So frenemy is not empowering, is it?
Frenemy, I don't know. Sometimes it's the friend, sometimes it's the enemy, lor, I guess.
So you have a love-hate relationship.
Yes, that's right. But I'm working to shift it towards love relationship. Money loves me.
You love money.
No need. Money loves me.
It sounds like part of a 12-step program.
Is that step 1 or step 2? No, step 1 is awareness. So this is not step 2.
Yes.
I love money.
Yeah, step 2 is I love money. Step 3 is money loves me.
No lah, money loves me. But still trying to think about that, money loves me. But anyway, yeah, that was the first thing that came up. It's either a frenemy or like a hot guy that everybody is trying to snatch, and so I have to snatch also.
Is
Yeah,
this hot
no,
guy?
that's
Is this
interesting.
hot guy the guy you will marry? Is he marryable material?
I don't know.
This
Just
is
snatch first lah. Snatch
But
first, talk later.
That's not very fair to money, because if you snatch first and then you abandon,
No. Snatch
But you never
first and
say
then
you
money
abandon
loves
what?
me. So it's part of the 12-step program, right? So snatch first and then money loves me. And then I love money, and then so on and so forth. But I think that was a term that came to mind. So so if let's say you ask me what's my relationship with money, that was the first two things that came to mind. If money were a person. Frenemy especially.
What about the person over there?
Later.
Okay, let me
what's
share
your
what.
relationship, Rachel? What's your relationship with money? If money was a person, what is this person like?
Yeah, I did this exercise in that program, and I still remember what came up. It was very clear because it was very, very interesting. So what came up for me was that, this person is a very wise, old, mature lady who is like a close friend. Yeah. And what's more interesting to me is that we are on equal standing. Usually when for me, usually when I think of somebody who's older, mature, somebody usually acts as a guide, as somebody who's wiser, who is, I didn't say anything, who is wiser or more mature. But in this case, this lady, this person, persona, who money represents, or who represents money, is on equal standing with me. It's like, standing with me side by side. And that's very interesting with me, because it helps, because then I realized that it is actually not a relationship of I have to go after the person, or the person I have to fight to be with the person, or the person have to fight to be with me. But it's like, the person is just there. It is just like that. It's like a fact. I'm looking at a laptop, so that's a fact. So I have this person with me, and that's a fact too. So
Can that person be not there? Can that person be not there?
Can the person be not there? Can, but it's a relationship. So the person, so that relationship is as such that
Okay,
is there.
let me ask the question a different way. Are you afraid of losing this relationship with the person? It's like, are you afraid of a breakup, basically? Or one day the person.
So my belief is to nurture and maintain the relationship such that it is there. So something that I've always believed in is, how when some people talk about retirement, they talk about they want $1 million in the bank, or they need X amount of money in the bank before they can retire. So for me, it's about nurturing the relationship with money such that money comes in every month. And so long as it's enough to cover my expenses, I am good for the rest of my life. Disclaimer, yeah, money comes in for the rest of my life every month, I am good. So then my job is to nurture that relationship such that it comes in every month.
80 or 140?
Huh?
80 or 140?
What is 80 or 140?
Yeah.
Rest of your life. Rest of your life.
You know, when I was younger, I only wanted to live until 60. So now I don't know.
It's coming, 60 is coming.
Yeah, it's coming very fast.
I know, that's why I said now I don't know. We'll see. I'll see. It's not as if I have any control over that, right? Yeah.
You
You
do.
do.
Really?
Yes. Wait. When I was young, I thought I would live until 75. So I actually planned everything based on 75. Or at worst, 80. I didn't use the word at best.
At worst.
But now, I think it may be beyond 95. And that scares the hell out of me. So my plan has to be 100 now.
So you're planning for the worst case scenario, but you don't have control over how much longer you have.
Of course I do. Of course I do have control over it. I mean, we can have control over how long I can now start. Don't care about my health. Don't care about all this. They go and eat shit food and
You can jump off the building.
destroy the nutrition in my life. We don't exercise, all these things can actually affect what I mean. I don't exercise anymore, and then I eat a lot of stuff that
Texas chicken.
no Texas chicken is really bad, and good food doesn't matter. Good food, too much good food also can be bad. So it depends. So you actually do have control.
Okay. Anyway, yeah. So anyway, yeah. So Rachel, your relationship with money is this old person. But
Yeah.
you know that when you see this old person, old person older than old. So this person is old or older than you. Oops.
Older than me lah.
The way I asked the question is
What's
it
the
old?
difference?
Is it old like
Because
maybe
old-
80
because
years
old
old or older than you?
Yeah, old is relative. You know, to young people, 50 can die is one foot in the grave already. That's considered old.
To young people, I am considered old already, okay?
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
but-
so old is relative.
So to me, she's old lah. So relative to me,
and the other way, okay, so it's interesting why you say old, because old also means closer to end of life.
Okay.
That's why I asked you whether can this person be not around, because if you have older, there's always this thing about having older people, and that older people will die before we will, because simply because of the fact, if all things equal, if all of us live to the same age, someone who's older will get there first. So the point that you made, that this is an older person, makes me curious, because it feels like this older person is close to the end.
No.
So in short, Douglas
That's
is
the
saying
normal. No,
So-
that's the normal older person that you're thinking about. In my
Yeah.
mind, this person is always there. Yeah.
What Douglas is alluding to is that if this older person is money, and this older person passed on, this money
Is gone.
So you will have at a certain point you will have no
Be
more money,
abandoned by money.
abandoned by money.
So that's not something that. Wow. Okay. No, like that's not something that I was thinking about until you guys planted it in. Oh my god.
Yeah, so you may come a point you have a money abandonment issue.
But no way, if I nurture and I make sure everything is running
Yeah,
okay,
but you see-
then
okay,
that
so
will happen,
anyway,
right?
it's just okay. It's not a right go or a bad thing. It's just
Yeah.
it's just curious that how come that person cannot be your age or younger? Why does
Yeah, I'm not sure.
she have got to be older? Because older just means end of life. Okay. Anyway,
But that's what you think, right? There are older people who are 100 plus, they're still around too. So
yeah, but okay. And anyway, so it's just the fact that somebody older than us, everything else equal, okay, is closer to the end point than we are. Okay, so anyway, I don't mean to overanalyze it. It was just curious. It was just out of curiosity that this person is an older person. That's all.
Okay,
yeah.
Rachel, I have some questions for you. But like what Afe has been mentioned, because he works with clients who are families, and then he talk about in general, there are all these type of people and then their relationship with money. So you also work with clients on how they handle money as well. So in your experience, what kind of people they are, and what are their typical relationship with money like?
It's interesting. Oh, so before that, I need to share the context first. When I work with my clients, 60% to 70% of them are in the States. So the context is slightly different. The US, how the cultural stuff, is slightly different from Singapore. So with that context, it's interesting because when I work with the younger people, those employees, they're working, but they're younger, 20s, mid to late 20s, they're very, very eager to learn. And they're very open and upfront as well. So in our sessions, they will tell me that they have not learned how to manage money. They were not taught since young. They don't know anything about it, and they just want to be like a sponge and absorb everything there is to know about it. Yeah, so that's one aspect of it. There's also another spectrum of it where I have this person who is old. He is 60 plus, 70, near retirement age.
Oh, 60 plus 70 is old, thanks.
Older lah. I think that word is very sensitive. I shall not use that word from now on. More mature. And
Have more experience in life. Eat more salt.
Yeah. Okay, more salt and more experience in life, and that particular person is actually in a dilemma as to whether to retire because he has a family to support. And of course, he will want to have everything in place, but it's not in place, and there's a lot of other things that's happening as well. So there's very, very huge different spectrum. It differs from who you talk to, and their mindset and mentality as well. And it's very interesting because recently I had this session with this client. She's in the States, and she's mentioned something that blew my mind. She said, with COVID and with the government that's giving, firstly with COVID, there's nowhere to go. So no traveling. So they save money from there. And with COVID, the government is giving us stimulus and such. So they are receiving money, which helps to clear off her debt. She is actually in a much better place now than before COVID. So that was a very refreshing, different perspective from how the media is painting it, how bad everything is out there. So yeah, there's always a blessing in disguise. And so now she's learning how to better manage money with the money that she finally has on hand, the excess cash that she finally has on hand. So that's very interesting too.
So would you say, from what I'm hearing you say, that most of the people that you work with have a relatively undeveloped relationship with money? That means they're just getting to know money. In relationships, there's the very early stage of getting to know each other, and then so there's dating, there's courtship, and then the relationship matures over time, and then it becomes one of those very strong, or it breaks. So would you say that they're almost non-existent, and they're learning how to date?
Yes. That's the side of the client that I'm more exposed to, where they're still learning how to manage. And it doesn't matter how old they are, or how long they have been dealing with money, or how long they have been earning a living, and yeah, it doesn't matter. So it is that relationship that is just, they're starting to have the awareness and starting to want to know a little bit more about it. Yeah.
Can I also add, because I have friends in the States as well, and I've lived not very long, but a year in the States before, not very long, a year in the States before. I know people, and I know people in the States, and it's true what the media says, they have a lot of debt, and they come out of school with a lot of debt. After going to college, they will have debt because they paid for that, because their parents are not unlike Asia, where they save up and then send their kids to school with money saved up. Sometimes the parents don't have money to send the kids to college, so they try to save, but if not enough, the kids will borrow money, take a student loan, or take a scholarship if they can get a scholarship. If not, they take a student loan. Then they come out, and then they're working, they have debt, and they start paying the debt. And in the same time, when they're paying their debt, at the same time, they are renting an apartment because they'll move out, because they will get a job somewhere else that's not close to home. They don't stay with their parents and other stuff like in Singapore. So they will then rent a place. And then most of the time, they are just trying to make ends meet. Unfortunately, school doesn't teach people how to handle money.
Yeah.
So they don't know what to do. So I earn the money from the job, then I just pay this, okay, just to make sure that everything meets, and then I just continue living. And that's how most of their life are like, whether it's the baby boomers, the Gen X, or the millennials. And when Rachel was talking about those people in their twenties, they're considered millennials, right? That group grew up from a space during the financial crisis where they have quite this, and in general, not everybody have quite this empowering relationship with money because they saw what happened to their parents, how the parents lost money from the financial crisis. So the relationship with money is a little bit, they don't,
Abandonment issues.
huh?
Abandonment issues.
Abandonment
Yeah.
issues.
Because money abandoned them.
Yeah, money
In the
failed
capital.
them.
Yeah.
What I will say, money failed them. The financial institutions failed them.
Plus, they come to the age where they feel that they should be at the age where they know how to manage money, and they really feel quite bad about the fact that they don't know about it. And that makes it worse because they are like left in a lurch where they can't ask anybody because like loss of faith, you can't really talk to your friends about money, right? You can't tell your friends that, I don't know how to manage my debt and don't know how to manage money.
That's
so
true.
then they're kind of stuck. Yeah.
That's true, and that's where you come in.
Oh yes.
But then
To be
again,
the place to talk about money. Yeah.
But then again, let's bring this back to Singapore or bring it back to Asia. I mean, we grew up being told to save. Well, at least in Singapore, we grew up being told to save. I remember when I was,
Like who? Who told you to say?
the school.
Oh,
You didn't
okay.
have that?
No.
I remember when I was maybe
Yeah,
I
we started with the POSB, save the
The
children's
children's
account.
Yeah,
we-
save.
the school make us open a POSB account, and there's this saving squirrel. I don't know how many of you do the saving squirrel, and then you put money. Actually, when you put money in the account, they give you some stickers, and then you paste it on to see how much you have saved. So we do learn savings in school here, but it's mainly on saving, but not investing and everything else to grow the money.
Yeah,
It's
but savings are a terrible thing to do.
Why?
No, because saving is you're losing money when you save. Money-
not that time because the interest rate is very high one.
Yeah, last time that
In those
time.
days, seriously, in those days the interest rate are quite high. But at one point I did ask my mother, all this money that we save up, we put in the bank, what are we going to do with it? It's like they are sitting in jail like that. So my mom,
So you need to free your money.
yeah, so my mom thought I was like, so my mom thought I was the what impulse spender that I want to take the money and spend. But in my mind, it's like, money can make more money. I want to make my money grow faster. You can take the money out to put in somewhere that can make it grow faster instead of just sitting in the bank earning interest, because you can actually invest in businesses and invest in whatever.
But not
grow money.
everybody knows how to do it, ma.
Yeah, at the time I was still young. I don't know how to do it, but I mean, I expect my parents would know how to do it. So why don't you just do something better with it? So that
So
was
do you have a master-slave relationship with money? The money are your
Money is
slave.
his slave. Yeah.
no. My relationship with money is this: I will help you grow. My relationship with money is money. I will help you grow, and as
No,
you
you
grow,
money will help you grow.
no. I will help the money to grow, and then as the money grows up, the money will take care of me.
What relationship is that?
It's a
It's
symbiotic
my relationship with
relationship.
money. I will grow you, then you take care of me. So
They're
like,
like children. So they're like children.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
like father. and
I was
son.
going to say that,
Yeah.
like Asian parents and children like that.
Yeah, it's the Asian mentality of the Yao Qian Su is the stick money tree. You know what I mean? It's like the Asian
Yes.
mentality. I bring up the children so that the children take care of me.
So you found a way. So now you found a way to do it without children.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so that's our relationship with money.
Okay, but okay. So we asked Afiq about his experience with his clients, but we didn't really ask. But we didn't really ask Afiq what his relationship with money is. Mm. What's-
give me. Take money and throw lah. Free the money. Don't
Make
put
it
in
rain.
the jail.
Make it rain, make it rain, make it rain. I'm definitely not an avoider. I know I'm a bit of an impulse buyer, but because we automate our finances, right? So every month we know everything is going to get paid, and our investments are going, our savings are going. You know, whatever's left is whatever's left. And in fact, we're actually very simple people. So ultimately, for me, money isn't something that is. It doesn't take up a lot of my time. Money is a means to an end.
So
Right.
money to you, is it like an old friend that you meet once in maybe a year,
Not
chat
really.
about stuff?
I see money more like a plant, really, like a tree, like a plant type thing, where whatever else I have, just plant it, put it there. Harvest the fruit once in a while, enjoy the shade. Make sure that I prune the dead branches. Make sure that not too many monkeys are in there. Hey, monkeys are fun. Monkeys let you buy stuff.
The monkeys will eat your fruit.
Oh, yeah. So monkeys let you buy stuff. Like, we bought a soda stream. We bought.
Oh, you bought it? Okay.
That doesn't sound
Oh, you
simple.
did.
So yeah, totally we did. And so for me, money is just there. It's of
So it's a
course
tree. So money is a tree.
kinda, yeah. It's a tree that I'm nurturing and nurturing and nurturing. Once in a while, you
It's a tree. It's a tree.
I mean, stop asking you to take care of it.
Children, stop copying. Don't copy.
I think the migration area is a 摇钱树啊.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, you don't understand? It means it's a tree that has money. You just shake the tree and then the money will
The
just
money
drop.
will drop down. Raining money.
and if you shake too hard, the monkey also drop.
Everything just drop together.
Mm.
So what is your relationship with money, Douglas?
My relationship with money
Yeah.
is a very intimate buddy, and you don't want to know how intimate.
Yeah, but we can imagine now. Thank you very much.
He's a buddy. He's a buddy that goes through thick and thin. Okay, he is someone that I give tremendous trust to, and knowing that in times of absolute need, he is there, and that not present all the time, but when needed, can always be counted on.
Just a good friend.
So he's a good friend. Yeah, he's a good friend, and he takes my nonsense. He takes my nonsense. And sometimes he asks, "Are you sure? Really?" Yeah, that's okay.
Do you talk to your money?
No, do you talk to your money? No, but
Yeah,
her
do
dream.
you talk to him?
Yeah, I think so. Intimate conversations about the bigger things, about the bigger things that we want to do in life. So money. So my money friend dreamer. My money friend is also a dreamer, and I feel safe, even though sometimes he takes a lot of risk. Okay, I take a lot of risk. I take a lot of risk risking him. Okay, but you know that he's the kind of buddy. We will go on adventures. We'll go on adventures. We'll push boundaries. Okay, we will push limits. We will do all sorts of things because there's and in exchange we get experiences. Okay, we don't. So he's not a friend that I will go and get things with, but he's a friend that I will go and get experiences with. and because in this life, okay, the thing that we have in common, right, that we talk about and we agree on, and he always agrees with me, is that the best thing to exchange our time for is experience. Because we cannot take anything else with us. We cannot take anything else with us except, and we cannot keep anything except experience. Okay, that creates growth, and that creates expansion. Okay, that we can take for as long as we will live. So that's that relationship with his fellow adventurer. He's a fellow risk taker. He's a fellow whatever lah. Okay, someone to live life with to the fullest.
I see. That's interesting.
Very, very, very intimate relationship.
So in your friendship, is he handling you or you're handling him?
I'm handling him. Of course, I'm handling. Okay, we're not handling each other. We are just in a relationship with each other, and there's no.
You know, it's very funny when you say you're not handling each other. You know what's the word that immediately came to mind? Oh, but you're fondling each other. Oh my god! No!
Denise, are you present too? Hello.
No, the word just came into my mind, really. The word just came in. I was like, oh, but they're fondling each other. I'm like, okay. No.
I won't deny you that imagery.
Thanks.
Yeah, so I think when you are I feel when we are in partnership, there is no point about having to handle or not handle. Because we're in partnership. We're in partnership and we are in alignment. And we get to where we want to go. Okay, it's not always easy. So I would say this, it's not always easy. And it should and that should be the way that it's not always easy, because if it was always easy, you know, the thing is when things are always easy, we tend to take it for granted. It is when things become challenging, or when we are challenged, when we encounter obstacles, when we fall, that's when we need to be extra vigilant about taking care of ourselves. Okay, taking care of our well-being. Okay, so it's not always easy, and that creates tremendous amount of growth in experience. So that's my relationship with Mr. M.
Okay, that's nice. Okay, what else do you want to? Huh? What?
That's so condescending. Okay, that's nice.
I think it's nice to be partnership with money, right? It's like a relationship, right? It's not going to be flowers and roses all the time, but you've got to work through it. You've got to work things out sometimes.
Yeah.
Let me.
Yeah,
okay,
we don't agree all the time, but yeah, right. So we need to work things out. And it is when we need to work things out, that's where we get clearer in the relationship too.
Okay, later I'll go and feed my frenemy some dim sum. Maybe they will become my friend also. Bribe them with food. Okay, I think yes. Anything else? I think
that was
last
the so I think this third point was the very interesting thing. The first two is what is how money works. Okay, so
the first two is quite technical, right?
Yeah, and then what is our relation? What is going on with our money? Okay, but what's our relationship with money?
Yeah, but a lot of people don't really think about that. You know, they just view money as something that they need to get in order to get stuff. You know, yeah, I realize a lot of people don't actually stop to think about what's their relationship with money. What they are thinking about is how to get more money. That's what most people actually think about.
But I think that's how it is with our relationship with everything. So our relationship with somebody else could be just that's just somebody to be with, to spend time with. or if our relationship with this other person is a growth relationship, then it's that person to get an experience with. So that's also an outcome that gets created, the level of where the relationship is.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well, okay. I
Okay.
guess that's last words time. Okay, that's nice. I'm just kidding. Okay, so anyway, I think it's last words. It's last words time. I think today's topic quite interesting. Yes, last words time. So,
So
Chunho, you look like you're ready to talk anytime.
Yeah.
So go.
Okay. What I want to say is that for the audience out there and for people out there, if in your life you feel that you are struggling with money or dealing with money in a way that you feel is uncomfortable, then you need to ask yourself what your relationship with money, whether and see whether it's an empowering or disempowering one. I have to say that there are people out there that are just giving too much power to money, at, in such a way that money is controlling their life, running their life. So it is for us to take a look and see how to be back on top of taking charge of our life, that money is just, like Afik said, a vehicle rather than it having so much power to run our life. Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. That's for me.
Okay. Thank you, Chunho. Douglas, you want to go?
I think I pretty much said most of it already, but to sum everything up, really is understand the depth of the relationship, and that relationship is totally for us to design and create. Okay, and I quote Chunho, remove all judgment. Okay, remove all judgment. And money as on its own is neutral. Okay, it's the stories we make out. I mean, everybody is neutral. They're whoever they are. Okay, but it is the stories we make up about money that then creates judgment, that then creates either an empowering or disempowering relationship. Okay, so it's take a step back. Okay, remove all judgment, and then design that relationship and be clear on what that relationship is. That relationship can be very, very intimate. That relationship can be very, very expensive as well. That is what is design. And those are my last words.
Okay. That's nice.
That's nice too. I
can't
know.
stop. Okay. Afik, last words?
I would say this. When it comes to money, Sun Tzu has it right. Know yourself, know your enemy. 1,000 battles fought, 1,000 battles won. So when it comes to money, money is not your enemy, but you do have to know yourself. And quite frankly, sometimes we are our own worst enemy. So the first step is to look deep inside of the 12-step program. The first step is to look deep inside, understand our habits, understand our wants and our needs, and absolutely acknowledge and accept it. Don't fight it. Never ever fight yourself, because you will always lose, right? If you're an impulse buyer, fine, manage that. If you're a saver, fine, manage that. If you're an avoider, fine, manage that. You can absolutely manage it and still indulge in what you want to indulge in, while still being able to, make your money work harder for you and plan for long-term success, right? Know yourself, know your enemy. And in this case, your enemy is yourself. And that's how the talk show ends.
And so if you don't know how, please go to Afik, who is from Fast Free Finance, and he can advise you how to do it.
Money and families.
And
If
how
you're
to
looking for personal finance, please
Yeah.
look for Rachel. Okay, I think it's time for my last words. Actually, what I wanted to say it's what Douglas said earlier, that money is neutral, but yet we attach so much emotion and stories to money that it has become something to us. But in actual fact, it is just a tool to get you what you want, to do what you want to do. So yeah, if you can remove all your emotions and stories regarding money, then you will probably have a better relationship with money. That's my last words. And it's Rachel's time. Rachel's still typing.
Yeah. One more word with money. Okay.
Thanks.
My last word. Back to awareness as well. I agree with Afiq. Afiq emphasized on awareness. So awareness is key. Like many of us have shared, money is not is neutral. There's not necessarily a good or a bad thing with regards to money, but awareness of whether your relationship is empowering or disempowering is very important. Because then from there you get to know yourself, you get to know how you manage money, and from there you work through it.
And if you need the awareness of whether you have an empowering or disempowering relationship with money, you can check in with Rachel.
What does that sound so? Okay, that's nice. Thanks for the plug, Juno. That's nice. But yeah, so Rachel is like personal finance. Afiq is all about families. Okay, so you know you're either single or with family. So just look for either one will do. That's all I want to say. Afiq gonna die soon, is it? Afiq's having a headache, and the fly is gonna fly inside his mouth. Okay. I think that's it for us tonight. Thank you guys for being here with us, and I hope that and we hope that you have a better relationship with money, a clearer, more intimate, balanced relationship with money. Okay, and we will see you guys in 2 weeks' time. Okay, have a good time with money and enjoy yourself.
Bye.
Why the music not playing faster?
Yeah, I'm waving like mad and the music is
There
still not
wait
playing.
for the music.
Bye guys, see you 2 weeks later.